Leanna Ortega says she wasn't sure what to expect when she began a 2-year journey that began late one night when she was scrolling on her phone.
I was scrolling on TikTok super late at night, and I seen this girl talking about her experience with surrogacy. She actually went through the company that I went through with surrogacy first. And so she was talking about it. I think she was like 8 months pregnant, and she was just telling her experience.
The post convinced Ortega to get online and fill out an application.
I don't really know if it was really her story. I think it was more so me just wanting to have like some type of purpose or something.
Ortega is a single mother of 2 and describes her pregnancies as fairly easy. And she's pretty sure she's done having kids. So she says surrogacy was an opportunity to give another family a baby of their own. Couples who may be struggling with infertility, which is a journey Jeffrey Hu and his wife know well.
We went to 4 different countries, and eventually we were able to have our children through surrogacy. So I always call them like $1 million babies, because literally it took us half a decade and half dozen rounds IVF before we were able to pursue surrogacy to start a family.
Today, this is his family, thanks to surrogacy. It is a journey that prompted them to create the company known as Surrogate First. He says since 2018, they've had an estimated 300 live births. And while finding surrogates is a challenge, the journey can be more fulfilling than some realize.
So for us, in most agencies, there's probably a 3 to 5% qualification rate at the end of the day of someone that becomes a surrogate. She's had 4 surrogacies, 3 of them with the same family. They're based in China. They've brought her entire family over for a 1-month trip, stayed at their house.
It took a few weeks for Ortega to be approved, but then the process began. And while the company will ask many questions to find a match on issues like termination, COVID vaccination, and how a surrogate feels about international or same-sex couples, for Ortega, the process of picking the family she would work with was fairly simple.
To be honest, I only got sent one family. Once I got sent that one family, I was like, yeah, I'll do it for them.
The process after that involves hormone shots and the implantation of the couple's embryo. But the first attempt took. And once again, she says the pregnancy was fairly easy. But there was one very important difference.
I feel like from the very beginning, I mentally prepared myself. I'm like, this isn't my baby. It's somebody else. It's going to be somebody else's baby, because I didn't know I was going to work with them. So I just knew that it was never my baby.
She says her kids knew she was doing it to help people, and she got support from her family. But as her belly grew, people started asking questions.
I'm telling them I'm a surrogate, I'm going to have a baby, and then everybody's concern is, well, aren't you going to feel attached? You're giving away a baby.
She says she told the baby often that it was loved, but never got attached. And as far as compensation, she prefers to keep that information private. But Hu says on average, in addition to medical expenses that are covered, there is a base compensation for surrogates that is paid over the entire pregnancy.
So for base compensation, I think the average is probably about $50,000 to $55,000, but that can also go all the way up to $80,000 to $100,000, depending on the intended parent, what state you're in, and are you a repeat surrogate, etc. I would like to break one of the stereotypes, which is the number one reason by far that the surrogates pursue surrogacy is to help another family in need.
Ortega says that is what motivated her, and she describes the moment that the baby she carried entered the world and met their parents. She says even in that moment, she knew she was delivering a baby that belonged to someone else.
The parents are just sitting there, and they're like, okay, so what's going on? I'm like, you guys should probably stand up. We're about to have the baby right now. They're like, oh, okay. You could tell they were gonna get emotional, but then they were smiling oh my goodness, my child was just born. I feel like it's kind of a full circle moment. It's kind of just fulfilling for me.
And as we sat with her just 3 days after giving birth, she was recovering in record time and already pondering the possibility of giving that same gift again.
Why would I do it again? I don't know. I don't know. I just think that it's very fulfilling internally for me.
A gift of family she has just given one couple just in time for the holidays. In San Jose, Claudine Wong, KTVU, Fox 2 News.